can see the questions here from Fatiha. All right, let me just record this.
All right.
Okay, I'm recording this already. All right, am I recording this?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, okay. Let me just.
Can you hear me clearly, sir?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Okay. Just to inform you, we have like a time limit for this interview because our first interviewee it exceeded an hour, so it was really hard for us to transcribe.
Oh, really? An hour?
Yeah, because I mean he was sharing
Okay.
his experience, so we'll start with the introduction first.
All right. Okay. Sure.
Okay. So can you introduce yourself for a bit?
All right. Okay. Hi, my name is Pavithran Ravindranath. I'm a lecturer. That's what I do. I teach. I have been in the teaching line since 2011. So how many years is that? You do the math. And this is my 7th year at UITM, but previously I was at a private institution teaching English, communication, and right now intercultural communication. I'm also the coordinator for the LG243 program. And this is my passion. This is what I enjoy doing. And this is what I would do for the rest of my life. I'm 37. I'm from Sagamat, Johor. Currently, I'm staying in Shah Alam.
Could you maybe tell us a bit about your educational background?
Okay, I have a degree. My first degree is in English literature from University Putra, Malaysia. And I have a master's degree from University Kebangsaan Malaysia in the field of TESOL. And I'm currently doing my PhD. All right.
Thank you so much, sir. Now we'll start with the first question.
All right, okay, sure.
All right, Fatiha.
So, okay, for the first question, okay, you can answer this based on your experience or your opinion. So,
All right.
in your opinion, between skills and qualification, which one do you think would provide a better indication of adaptability when it comes to working life?
I believe you need both. Okay, why am I saying that? I always believe that skill sets are always harder to be measured. Okay, why am I saying that? When you talk about skills, it is very objective. Am I right? Than a qualification, probably. Qualification clearly states that you have this much of CGPA and you are good at these subjects and you have a degree from a certain university. And I always believe that it's difficult to measure skills, and that's how it is. And I believe that you need both. Why am I saying that? Because like what I've mentioned earlier, it is difficult to measure skills, and skills here would include skills like communication skills, problem solving skills, and also leadership skills. So both this knowledge goes hand in hand. And graduates or people who wish to be part of an organization, they have to come out from this false idea or this generalization that skills are different from qualification. To me, the way I see it is the same. Why am I saying that? Yeah, it's there is a bit of a difference there. But if you look at qualification, what it is that it is basically a gauge of your subject knowledge or your understanding of a certain field of knowledge. And skills is basically, if I could define this, it is basically the application of the knowledge that you have learned in the real life environment, the actual real world knowledge that you have to perform. So if you ask me, I believe that we need both. I believe that skills and qualifications go hand in hand to make you the employee that an organization wishes to have you there. Yeah, that's what I see things. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much for your answer, sir.
All right.
Let's move on to the next question. So, do you think employers are currently valuing qualifications too much in like their working life right now?
Okay,
What's your opinion?
qualifications more than skills, you mean?
Yes.
Is it
Yes.
qualifications more than skills? I
Yes.
believe it's the contrary because, I mean, qualifications would only get you the job. Am I right? What I've mentioned earlier, it will only get you the job. But what goes beyond that is your ability to portray the skills or to display the skills that you have. And one of the most important skills that you need to have is basically leadership skills. This is highly sought after, and this is often underestimated by or looked down upon the graduates who are trying to seek a job opportunity. Leadership skills, interpersonal skills, and communication skills. So these are the skills that we need. And I've always believed that a qualification would only get you an opportunity for an interview. It will only get you that far. Uh, what comes next is your skill sets. And even if you look at appraisals or how promotion works at certain institutions, they rely solely in your ability to perform effectively in an organization. So I'm not the type of person who would overgeneralize things and says that they're all the same. But what I'm saying is that you need both. You need academic qualifications and also skills. Yeah.
Okay, for the next question, if a
Mhm.
new graduate has a strong practical skills, meaning that they do have all the communication skills, interpersonal
All right.
skills, but they don't have that formal education. So how should these employers assess their suitability for a role if they are applying for a job?
I believe that this is what the employers have to do. I mean, one of the things that they can do when they are advertising a job, for example, yeah, they have to be specific and not being vague. For example, let's say that you have stated that you need someone with with this degree, particular degree, right? You have to understand that besides that degree, what are the other things that are required? All right, because things can be vague. Am I right? If you say good communication skills, how would you measure good communication skills? Great leadership skills, how would you, what is great leadership skills? It's difficult because this is not the same as good results. For example, if you get a CGP of 4.0, academically, you're on top tier, am I right? But if you get a 2.75, obviously you're doing bad. You're not as good as those who get a CGPA that is higher than you. But that does not work the same with skills, right? I mean, let's say that you have this hiring advertisement that you share online or any other medium that is to be shared, and you say that we prefer candidates or future employees with good communication skills. What is good communication skills? It's subjective. Am I right?
Yeah.
So if people come in with the proper skills, yes, they would have. Okay, they would have the skills that they want. In your case, yes, they have that. But formal qualification is where they say that they should basically, the employer should understand that, all right, what they lack in terms of the traditional way of getting a degree. Because this might seem as an advantage, right? Because these people with no qualifications, they are from basically from the non-traditional backgrounds. So what they can do is that they can foster ways to leverage on the skills that they have to compensate the lack of knowledge, formal knowledge that they have. So not having skills does not mean that they don't have knowledge regarding the subject matter, right? But I'm looking at knowledge is no formal qualification, which I believe it's important for certain jobs that you apply. Yes. But I mean, if I can add, this does not apply to certain fields
Yeah,
where you ought to have formal education. We are looking at fields like law, being a lawyer, right? Accountancy, medicine, dentistry. So all these positions or roles need formal education. And you can say that teaching, you can go on to teach with a degree. But if you look go 40 years ago, people with SPM can still teach. But people with SPM can't treat someone with a certain illness, right? You need a proper medical degree to do that. You can't go on and operate people with your non-formal education. You need a formal education because your job requires you to have that.
yeah, yeah.
All right, okay, I lost you, but I believe I'm back.
Yes.
Right. Okay. All right, okay.
Okay.
So yeah,
All right. Now moving forward to the next question. So, can you give me an example from your life, whether it's in your studies or during your teaching years, where skills were more important than qualifications?
well, it is important if you have people who have higher academic background than you. This is very apparent in the real working context. I don't know whether I can say this. You could, you can have, you could go on to have a certain degree or a certain position that is higher than, let's say, me, right? I'm a lecturer, right? There are going to be people out there with PhDs. There are going to be people out there who are professors. And it is very apparent where, let's say, especially if you're in a leadership role or managerial role, your academic qualifications does not mean that much. Because what matters is your ability to function effectively in the management. And they struggle. Most of them struggle based on my observation. But if you look at, you call this availability bias, right? If you look at the subject that you're looking at, critical thinking, I might be answering this based on my experience, but I could be wrong as well. This is what you call availability bias, where I'm sharing what I have based on my personal experience. But the context might differ when you ask other individuals. But in my case, yes, most of them struggle.
Mm,
They're highly qualified than me. They have better credentials in terms of teaching experience. But these are things that eventually would come to me as well, right? And I could go on to get these things, but can you train people to acquire skills like good communication skills, good leadership skills? You can, but it's a bit more, it's difficult to reach lah, to get that as compared to academic credentials. You can just go out there and get an academic degree or whatever to upscale your skills. But in order for you to acquire skills like a leadership role, a leadership skills, right? Some people just don't have it. They can go for workshops and training and all that. You can only improve to a certain degree because these are skills that require years of practice and polishing. That is my opinion. To answer your question, yes, having an academic degree alone would not mean anything if you are in a competitive professional working environment. Skills is going to be the main idea that people are going to look at.
agree, agree.
Yeah.
Okay, for the next one. How did your study experience prepare you to handle the demands of today's workplace? Do you think that when you are like working right now, you have any epiphany of like, oh, this is why we learn that during degree or master degree?
Okay, I believe that, in terms of, I would divide my experience in two spectrums or ideas. Okay. The first part would be the elective courses that I've took. Because, let's say I did a few business courses, and some of the ideas in business and management has led me to the position that I am right now, where I'm able to lead people who are higher than me in terms of ranking, right? And there's also things that I believe are highly related to knowledge as in direct knowledge that relates to me directly. And this is all the English courses and subjects that I've taken in the classroom. But yeah, the elective courses have helped me a lot in terms of leadership skills. In terms of preparing myself to be part of an organization and to teach, I believe that it's something that I have in me innate. And yeah, even if the university does not really prepare me for that, I can still teach because, you acquire knowledge. But what I needed the most was what I got from the elective courses, leadership skills, how to manage people, organizational behavior is what I took. And it helped me a lot. So yeah, it was really important for me lah, because I believe that I performed well academically as well, but I would never jeopardize the need to upscale my skills, and I did that at university as well. So yeah, for me both is of utmost importance. Yeah.
All right. As for the second last questions, so throughout your years of working, what are the harsh truths in the working life that the new generation like us, the Gen Zs, needs to know? Because I feel like not every one of us have the ability to like work beforehand before sorry, before graduating.
All
So
right. Okay.
yeah.
No one owes you anything. If I need to put that in a statement, no one owes you anything. Your boss does not owe you anything. Meaning that, guys, if you come into the work environment, don't expect anything. Expect people to treat you in a certain way, I believe. The best thing that you can do is put your positive front forward, right? Make sure that you're able to be nice with everyone. Being nice is important as well. But I would never, throughout my 7 years of working experience here, if you start from 2011, it's more than 10 years, right?
Yeah.
10 years of teaching experience. Never did I go to a particular individual and requested anything. And yes, we do complain among our friends, but we don't have this mindset that we're entitled to have anything. So that is the mindset that I believe would be really helpful for young graduates to be part of an organization where, yeah, people are not bothered. Like we see a lot of cases where, let's say, students would go into internship, right? For example, you have to face the same situation later as well. They would complain that the bosses are treating them badly, that they have a lot of work to do. It's work. You have to do it, right? It's part of what you have to do. Are you being paid? Yes. Do you have to work on a Saturday or Sunday? Yes. So being entitled, having this idea that everyone needs to help you, everyone needs to listen to you. It's great if you get, you get a group of people who really care for you, but it's not always going to be sunshine and rainbows out there. You are going to face a group of people who are not bothered, where the only idea that they have in mind is to optimize the company's need to make more money, especially when you're a private organization. Yeah, that's it. And I believe leadership skills is something that they should have as well. I believe most of you have that. yeah, only that, not being entitled and not having the mindset that people have to listen to you. That's not how the world works. Yeah. Okay.
So for the last question of the day,
All
um,
right. Okay.
what changes that you wish that can be done by educational institutions to prepare the students for the industrial needs?
There are some courses that don't have industrial training or latihan industry, right? So I believe that it has to be made standard for
Mm,
all courses to at least have some kind of an exposure towards industrial training or latihan industry lah. All right. And another way for the education ministry or institutions is to really look into the ideas that, I mean, what does the industry really need? And at APB Shah Alam, we look at all the programs. What we do is that we send survey forms to employers and future employers, asking them what are the skills that is required
mm,
from them, or let's say if you look at your seniors, what are the skills that our graduates lack? So based on the insights that we get, we use that to improvise the courses that we teach. So that's the best thing that we can do. If we look at education institution, as far as I know, APP does that. And yeah, having a balance between academics and not really focusing on theory that much, especially when you are in the social science, right? Like all of you are in social science, right? Not really focusing on theories and making sure that you're able to share practical knowledge on how something is done or carried out. I believe there has to be a shift on that because it's not all theory, especially if you're in social science, it's laden with theories and concepts and ideas. How would you put this in place in the real life or the real world experience? And most of us can't do that. And most of us, I mean, most graduates can't do that, right? Some graduates are able to communicate well in during presentations, but in the real situation, let's say you got a job and you have to make that important presentation, they're not able to do that. Probably they're not able to gauge the situation, the setting, or the context. Not being adaptable towards changes is also something that we have to look at. So I believe that we have limitations as well because if we look at education institutions, we have to make sure that all the courses are created and made in that particular way so that you can graduate on time. So having all that jammed in one syllabus or one chapter is not going to be helpful as well. So there's always a dilemma because you have to make sure that you give the best for the students in terms of knowledge and content, and at the same time striking a balance of what the industry wants. So it's a tough decision to make, but I believe that that's why we have curriculum reviews to review the curriculum,
mm.
and we do what we can for the betterment of the students. Yeah, being practical, and making sure that what they do, what they learn in the classroom, can be applied in real life context, and not just theory based and all that memorizing ideas and spitting out in public. It's not going to do much if you go into the real working world. Yeah. Okay, guys, I believe that's it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're at the end of our
Okay.
session now. So I
All
would like
right.
to really thank you for, sacrificing your time for us. I'm so sorry for the short
No
notice.
worries, no worries. Did I do justice to the analysis later? Do you think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to what? Combine, maybe I can just, you have to combine responses from all the people.
Yes.